Hi, my name is Bhavna, and I'm a new member of Salem Lutheran Church. So I wanted to talk a little bit about how I found Christ and how I found this church. So to start off, I came from a Hindu background. I basically started off practicing and learning about the Hindu religion and also in the Buddhist tradition as well, contemplative practices, meditation, things like that. So that's kind of how my spiritual life started. And I would say around the time of 2020, during the COVID era, I was spending more and more time alone. I actually had COVID at the time, so I was spending a lot of time alone recovering, and I would be prompted to read certain things about Jesus and also about that time and the years following. I started to be guided into learning about Jesus's life and the whole story of the Bible. So I remember watching movies such as Jesus of Nazareth and also a TV series called The Chosen. These were coming into my scene at the time, and I would actually watch these movies over and over again. There was something in it that was really drawing me into this story, and I didn't realize it at the time. In fact, many things for me, it seems, have been preparing me for my entry into this church. So I found myself, almost every day after work, like watching these movies and just absorbing the spirit of the teachings and the message of Jesus Christ. So there was a period last year when I was practicing a lot of contemplative prayer, sitting in silence. And this actually started, I would say, a consistent practice around April of last year. So for 9 months, I was kind of a hermit and just sitting in silence. And this was really, it came from a certain catalyst that broke me down in my life. And I came to this form of prayer to just get in touch with what was going on in my mind and in my spirit, all of the unconscious material that was coming up in my mind to be flushed up into awareness and be let go of. So 9 months later, I was actually here in the Salem community. I was performing with my chorus. I'm in a barbershop chorus, and we were performing for a Christmas concert. And it just happened to be this community, and I didn't think of anything of it at the time, but we did the performance. It was lively and fun, and then afterwards, about 4 weeks later, in the end of December, I was called to come and visit the church on Christmas Eve, so December 24th. Again, there was a catalyst in my life. So certain things, you could say, are a spiritual crisis that shows up as some kind of difficulty, very challenging, difficult situation in my life. So that pushed me to research online, find the right place to come. That evening itself, I showed up here at Salem, and the Holy Spirit just kind of guided my own feeling of connectedness with the church and how I experienced the Christmas services. I came back the next day as well, and then as I was sitting, in prayer after that, I was guided to be baptized in the church. And I talked to some friends about this because there was a lot of struggle in my mind, like inner conflict about this guidance, because I seemingly come from a very different tradition. So after speaking with some trusted friends, I decided to get baptized as soon as possible. I requested for this, and it happened on New Year's Eve, December 31st. I was baptized in this church, and even now as I speak about it, it feels like a very sacred experience, something that I feel to protect and nurture and grow within myself. It's been about 5 months since then, and after attending services each week, every time I feel transformed in some way. I feel deeply moved by the teachings and the messages that are shared, and I know I receive something very precious in every service. So in 5 months, I can say that I feel some deep transformation has happened in my spirit. And it's something I haven't really spoken about in my daily life, but my attitude, the way I approach things is different. I felt initially, when I came to the church, I wasn't sure where I fit in here. But as I kept coming back to each service, I started to feel like this is like my spiritual family, in a sense, you could say. And then when I look back on my life, events on the timeline of, myself, I can see in many ways I have been prepared for this. In hindsight, I can see that. A few years ago, it was around 2022, I visited Israel and Jordan with my parents. This was just a regular vacation, or so I thought. I had no idea what it was to prepare me for, but I ended up walking through the different places and events of Jesus's life. And that was during the time when my devotion and curiosity was building. I had no idea when I was visiting Israel, the place of his birth, the place of his baptism, all of those things. And also, I've been fortunate to visit churches and places of worship, almost thinking that I was just a tourist, but really the Holy Spirit was planting seeds in me that whole time. So I'm very grateful for this experience, and for this divine orchestration, I could say, of how it all has come to be and culminated to this point. And it's really just following the call of the Holy Spirit, little nudges and things that are suggested, in my mind to do. Even now, after contemplative prayer, I had no idea where that would necessarily fit in the church, but it so happened that it was aligned with even what I heard of Salem's Year of Listening, that theme. As soon as I heard about it, Pastor Dave told me about this theme, something just came alive in me, and I thought, wow, that's what I've been practicing this past year. I just felt like so much resonance between me and what's happening in this church. So I felt to start offering this practice of centering prayer, and hopefully, other people from the community can also experience the contemplative side of things. So I hope that gives some insight into my journey and how I came to Salem. Thank you.